Good day. This quadratic equation in mathematics. And these are the objectives. Factorize quadratic expressions, solve quadratic expressions, form quadratic from given roots. Now this is the first one. Whenever you want to factorize, it's a quadratic because the highest power is 2. The highest power of the unknown is 2. So this quadratic. Now in order for you to factorize it, you open up 4 brackets this way. You look for the factors of the first one. It's x times x. Because x squared equals to x times x. So you put one x here and put the other x there. Then you now factorize the third one. Look for 2 factors of plus 42. That will give you that the sum will be minus 17. Since it's positive, it is going to be either plus plus or negative negative. So we now have 3 times 14 to give us 42. So because we are looking for minus 7, we put minus. It has to be minus 3 and minus. So you put minus 3 here and minus 4. So this is the factorized form of the first one. We move on. Number 2. We want to factorize like the second one. We open up 4 brackets. The factors of x squared is x times x. So we put the first x here and then the second x there. Then we look for a factor of a negative number, which is minus 20. Factor of a negative number is either one will be minus and then the other one will be plus. So for 20 to give us plus 8, 20 factors of minus 20 will be minus, either minus 2, is okay, 10 times minus 2. So the sum of this will give us plus 8. So we put plus 10 here and put minus 2. So this is the factorized form. We move on. So you do this one as assignment, so classwork. Now the power here is 2. So whenever you have different from 1, you have to use the first one to multiply the last one. So we have minus 30x squared. So 2 factors that will give us plus 7. It has to be minus 10. It has to be plus 10 and minus 3. We use it to replace the middle one. So you have 4 terms. So you now take what is common in the first group. We call it by grouping. What is common in the first one is 2. So you have x plus 5. So what is common in the second one here is minus 3. Whatever sign you have here. So minus 3. We now have plus x plus 5. You can see that x plus 5 is common. So you bring out the common factor this way and combine the other to 2x minus 3 on the other brackets. So this is the factorization of that. Now similarly, you want to factorize this. So you rearrange. You carry 3x squared to this side. First is plus, followed by minus 22 plus 7. So you look for 2 factors of the first and the last. The first and the last. This is plus. So factors of plus 21. Plus 21x squared. That will give us the middle one. It's going to be minus x minus 21x. When you add them, you get minus 22. So you use it to replace minus 22. And then you factorize by grouping. So what is common in the first one is x. So you have 3x minus 1. Then you put the minus here. You put it here. It's common. You have minus 7 that is common. So you now have 3x minus 1. 3x minus 1 is common now. You put it inside one bracket. Then the other one outside, you put it in another bracket. X minus 7. So this is the factorized form. Similarly here, the difference here, now you look, first of all check whether something is common on the 310. 3 is common. So you factorize with 3, you bring 3 out. You now have 2x squared plus 5x plus 3. So you now look for factors of the first one here and factors of which is plus 6x squared to give us the middle one, which is 2x. To give us 5x rather. So those two factors are 2x plus 3x. It will give us 5x. So you use it 2x plus 3 to replace 5x. Then what is common in the first here is 2x. So you now have x plus 1. Now you put this plus here. Now what is common between these 3x and x and 3? What's common between 3x and 3 is plus 3. So when you factorize, you have x plus 1. So this x plus 1 is common to both. So you put that one in one bracket. Then 2x plus 3 in the other bracket. So this is the factorized form of it. Now here, similarly, these two, they are similar to the last two I've done for you. So you use by this grouping to do them, and you will have this and this. They are similar. So I move on. I'm giving you this one as a classwork stroke assignment. So this is another one. This quadratic equation. This one is equation because of this equal to here. This an equation, quadratic equation. Solving them, it has been factorized already. So we want to solve them by it has been factorized equals to 0. So it's either you use the method, it's either the first one is 0 or the second one is 0. You now have this. You now make x the subject here, you have 2. You make x the subject here, you have minus 3. So x is equals to 2 or minus 3. Similarly here, it has been factorized. It's either x is 0 or plus 3 is 0. X is already 0 here, the first solution. Making x the subject here, you have x equals to minus 3. So the answer is either x is 0 or minus 3. This 1, 2, whenever anything is raised to power 2, you repeat that thing twice. So you have this. So you now use the same method. Either x minus 5 is 0 or x minus 5 equals to 0. Then making x the subject, you have x equals to 5 or x equals to 5. So x is equals to 5 twice. This one is not quadratic, it's quartic. Quartic or you call it by quadratic equation raised to power 4. So it's the same way. See that the first one is 0, x is 0, or x minus 4 is 0, this way, or x plus 6 is 0, or finally x plus 6 is 0. So making x a subject, you have this. X is 0, 4, minus 6, minus 6 as the solution. So I'm giving this one to you as classwork stroke assignment. Move on. I have this, it has been factorized already. Similarly, it's either 3x plus 2 equals to 0 or 2x minus 7 is 0. Making 3x the subject, it will be minus 2 here. And making 2x the subject, you have 7. So 2x equals to 7. Now making x the subject here, divide both sides by 3. So it's going to be minus 2 over 3 here. Why this one? Divide both sides by 2. You have x equals to 7 over 2. So x is either minus 2 over 3 or 7 over 2. The answer to that. Now this one is classwork, stroke assignment. I move on. Now here we need to use factorization method. By the time you factorize using by grouping, you look for factors of minus 84. Minus 84x squared. And those two factors that will give you 5. That will give you 5. So 12 you have to give us 5, so it's going to be 12x minus 7x to replace this. And when you factorize by grouping, you will have this. And solving it, this one will, you see that this one is 0, see that this one is 0, and then making x the subject, you have minus 3, or this one is 0, then making x the subject, you have x equals to 7 over 4. So that's the solution. This, you factorize, x is common, you have this to be x into x minus 3, solving it, making x is already 0 here, and then x minus 3 is 0. Now making x subject here, you have x is 3, or x equals to 0 as the solution. Then I move forward. Now here, there are two ways of doing it. You can use this factorization. This is difference of 2 square. One will be minus. Factors of x square is x and x. The factors of 16, 4 and 4. You put minus here and put plus here. It's called difference of 2 square. It's a standard way of factorizing this. Then solving it, you have x equals to 4 or x equals to minus 4. Therefore, x is equals to plus or minus 4. You can use another way of doing it. Just take the square root of both sides. So x equals to plus or minus square root of 16. So x equals to plus or minus 4. This is a very fast way of doing it. It's another method. Now here, you transfer all this to the left hand side. You have this using by grouping to replace 3 factors of minus 15. When you do that by grouping, you have this factorization. Then solving it, see that x plus x, 2x minus 5 equals to 0, or x plus 1 is 0. When you solve this, you have x equals to 5 over 2, or x equals to minus 1. This is the solution. Now you do this as classwork stroke assignment. Now forming quadratic equation with 2 given roots. Yes, a sum of, you have x squared plus sum of root, this is sum of root, sum. Add them together. Why this is product? Product. So the sum of this and this, that's 2 minus 2. That's sum. Then you have x at the back. Then plus the product. That's 2 times minus 2. Here it will give you 0 here. So x will not. We have x squared minus 0x. Then minus 4. This is minus 4. So this is the final answer. So the final answer is x squared minus 4 equals to 0. If you solve that, you have x squared equals to 4. Taking the square root of both sides, x will be plus or minus 2, which is the solution. Now in this one, you have two values, 2 plus 5 over 2 and minus 1. So this is sum, and then this is product. Standard way of doing it. So this is sum. It will give us 3 over 2, x squared plus 3 over 2x. Then the product will be minus 5 over 2 equals to 0. Multiplying this by 2. You multiply it by 2, every 10 by 2. You now have this one as your solution. 2x squared minus 3x, then minus 5 as this final equation. Now, this is a very interesting one. You are given a factor that this is a factor of this. You have to find the value of k and the other roots. Now, for us to get the value of k, we put x equals to 3. Then you have x squared plus minus 3k plus 42 equals to 0. This will be 9 minus 3k plus 42. Now, taking 3k to this side, you have plus. Then collecting this, you give us 51. So 3k equals to 51. Divide both sides by 3. K is 17. So k is 17. You now use it to replace k. Replace 17 with k. You now have x squared minus 17x plus 42 equals to 0. Factorizing that, you have this. So you have x is either 3 or 14. So the other root is 14. So you do this one as assignment, and that's the end. I wish you good luck, the best. I'll be publishing another one for you.